So this was the yesterday class. Schedule చేశారా? So this was the last pending last class. So what we have to do here, we have to calculate. So we have to calculate the bending stress and compare with the permissible limit. So now I am calculating the bending stress. So what is the basic equation? Bending moment by section modulus. So what is bending moment for this given data? Just wait, Amma. Showing to trouble. So this was the problem yesterday we discussed, and these four parameters also we calculated, and finally the problem is here confirming whether our proportions, that B is equal to 40 and H is equal to 5T, what we propose, that are under the safe limit or not, we have to verify. So that also verified. Now this is for this for the cap, big end of the connecting rod cap. This cap is under safe limit or not, we have to check here. So for this bending moment by section modulus, now bending moment for this figure is, maximum bending moment is m omega square into r into L by 9 root 3. So for this shape, this is the big end cap for the connecting rod. Okay. For this, the maximum bending moment, this is the equation. Now what is the m here? Material, maximum how much material here utilizing. So that is question itself given. How much this one? 1.64. Sorry, mass we need to calculate separately. So from the relation, volume into density. So what is the volume here? Area into length. So area here 11 t square. This 11 t square already we calculated at the beginning. 11 t square into L we don't know, and the density question itself given density value, that is 8,000. And L also think we calculated the L value. It is L. So here we calculated the L value. Crank, length of the crank pin, nothing but length of the big head of the connecting rod. So 58. 58. So with this relation, we'll get the t value also we calculated. The t value is 0.007 square. So this is the calculation for the m value. Omega is a 2 pi n by 60. 2 pi n question itself given the n value 1800 square by 60, and r is the crank radius. So the crank radius is here, the crank radius, that is 0.09095. Okay, and the L value is 58. Okay, substitute here maximum bending moment will get. And section modulus, coming to the section modulus, so the equation is Ixx by 5t by 2 for this figure, Babu, not for the I sectional cross section. This z value and this m value is for this figure, not this figure. Okay, and Ixx is we calculated 419 t power 4 by 12 into 2 power 2 by 5t. So now 26 13.97 t power 3. So t power 3 means how much we taken the t value here? The 7. So 13.97 power 3. Okay. Get the value of z, get the value of m. Substitute in the calculated bending maximum bending moment by section modulus. So get the value of bending stress, calculated value. Tell me the value of how much we are getting. The substitute in this equation, whatever here I written in the on the screen. So substitute in these equations and tell me the m value and z value. 13.9 into 7 into 7 into 7. 4792 mm power cube. Now what is bending moment, Babu? Do it fast. So after calculating this one, you people calculate it and substitute in this equation. Here m value and here z value. You will get 1 megapascal value. And here permissible limit is given in the question as 80 megapascal. 80 megapascal. So whatever we calculated, that should be less than this permissible value. So suppose if we get this calculated value less than the permissible 80 megapascal, so then our design is safe. Hence, design is safe. Write the comment. So you people first calculate this m value and substitute here and get this calculated value, compare with this permissible value and write the comment. Okay. So another topic is crankshaft. So see here, The purpose of the crankshaft is to convert the reciprocating motion of the piston into rotary motion, isn't it? Now here, the crankshaft consists of the parts that is that is going to revolve in a main bearing and crank pin, to which the big end of the connecting rods are connected, and the crank arms or webs are also, it is also known as a cheeks, which is connected to the crank pin and the crankshaft. And the crankshaft is going to divide into two groups depending upon the position. Okay, first one is the side crankshaft, another one is a center crankshaft. And depending upon the number of cranks also, the crankshaft is going to divided. That is a single throw crankshaft and multi throw crankshaft. Single throw crankshaft means only if there is a one side of crank is present, that is a single throw, and two sides on the crank pin, the two cranks are present, that is a multi throw crankshaft. So this is a design procedure. We'll discuss it in the end of this topic. First one is the design of crankshaft. So here in the designing of crankshaft, we have two different types of crankshaft here. That is the center crankshaft and side crankshaft. So we are designing now design of center crankshaft. So this design of center crankshaft also, we are considering the two positions. First one is when the crank is at the dead center, that is nothing but when the crankshaft is subjecting to the maximum bending moment. And the second condition is when the crank is at an angle at which the twisting moment is a maximum. These two are the conditions we are taking into account to design the center crankshaft. The first one is the crankshaft is at the dead center. The second one is the at a maximum twisting angle. So in these two cases, we are going to derive some expressions here. Okay. Now first one. So when the crank is at a dead center, see here, capital D is a diameter of the piston, dia of piston, otherwise bore diameter, and P is the maximum gas pressure. So due to the gas pressure only, the piston tends to move downward direction. This motion is transmitted to the connecting rod, and this reciprocating motion is converting here rotary motion. Okay, so that is the maximum pressure in the Newton per mm square. And capital W reacting here at this step. The capital W is acting here at this position due to the flywheel. Capital W is nothing but here weight of the flywheel acting. Now this weight of the flywheel acting is vertically downwards. You can see in the figure here, vertically downwards. So this flywheel I am removing. Vertically downwards. And T1, T2, here we can find the T1 plus T2. The one component is appearing here, T1 plus T2. This T1 plus T2 is a resultant tension, resultant belt tension in newtons. Okay. The thrust in the connecting rod will be equal to the gas load on the piston. So because of this gas pressure on the piston, the load is transmitting to the crankshaft. So the total entire thrust is distributed over the crank pin here. Here it is the crank pin. Here is the crank pin, where we can find the, this is a crank pin here. Okay, here we can find the crank pin. So the crank pin, at the crank pin, whatever the pressure force is generating, that is going to transmit it to here. So how much pressure force is acting? Pi by 4 into d square into maximum pressure. So how much pressure force acting? So this is the, actually the pressure is creating above the surface of the piston. How much the pressure? Maximum pressure. This is the one, that is load by pressure force by area. So with this relation, I'm writing the pressure force acting on the piston. So that I'm equating to the pressure force acting on the crank pin, because this pressure only distributing to the these crank pins. Okay, this is the first equation. And now, due to the piston gas load acting horizontally, there will be two horizontal components. One is the H1 and H2. One is the H1. Here we can find another is one is the H2 here. H1 and H2 reactions. So what are those reactions? I'm taking moment about this H1. So H1 into B, H1 into B equal H1 into B equal. So here the gas pressure is creating here. So where is the gas pressure? Here is the gas pressure. So due to the gas pressure, the gas force is creating on the crank pin. Okay. So Fp into Fp into B1. So with this, what is H1? Fp into B1 by B. This is the one component. And another component is H2. Where is H2? Here we can find the H2. So H2, I'm calculating now. H2 into B, H2 into B equal Fp into Fp into B2. So now what is the another component? H2 equal Fp into B2 by B. So this is the one H1 and this is the H2. So this H1 H2 is two horizontal reactions due to the piston gas force acting at the crank pin. Okay, and due to the weight of the flywheel, here the flywheel is mounting. So due to this, two vertical components are acting. What are those? V2 and V3 here. V2 and V3. Two vertical components acting. Now that vertical component reactions I'm calculating now. V2 into first one. V2 into total C equal W into total load is acting due to the flywheel vertically downwards. W into this is the C1. W into C1. Now what is V2? W into C1 by C. Now in the same manner, what is vertical component 3 number 3? V3 into C equal W into C2. Isn't it? Now V3 is W into C2 by V, sorry, C. This is the vertical component. This is another vertical component due to the weight of the flywheel. Okay, and now due to the transmission transmission means a belt tension. So here I am writing. So due to the belt tension, this flywheel is attaching to the through the belt mechanism here. Here it is a flywheel, and here the belt is attaching to transmit the power from this to another component. So belt tension T1 plus T2 acting horizontally. There will be two components. that is H2 dash, here we can find, and H3 dash. Now what is H2 dash? H2 dash I'm calculating. I'm taking movement about this one. H2 into C, H2 into total C, and T1 plus T2 into C1. T1 plus T2 into C1. Now what is H2 dash? T1 plus T2 into C1 by C. So this is the one component. Another component is H3 dash into C, T1 plus T2. What is the next one? C2. So H3 dash equal T1 plus T2 into C2 by C. These are all components we calculated. Now resultant force at the bearing number 2. Here how many bearings we have here? This is a one bearing and this is a second bearing. Two bearings we have. Now resultant force acting at a bearing number 2, we can find out R2 square root of H2 plus H2 dash square plus V2 square. So this is R2. This is R3. So sorry, here number 1 bearing, number 2 bearing, and this is the number 3 bearing. So here resultant for R2, force R2 I'm calculating H2 dash plus H2 square plus V2 square. Now in the same manner, what is R3 resultant force at the third bearing? What is this? H3 dash square plus V3 square. Square root of H3 dash square plus V3 square. So these resultant forces we calculated. This is the one. This is the one, and this is the second one. Okay. So these two are we calculated here. First one, what we calculated? First, we calculated how much gas force is acting on the crank pin. FP we calculated. Then, due to the bearing, due to the gas force, how much the horizontal forces, horizontal reactions are generating here, that we calculated H2, H1 and H2. And due to the flywheel weight, V2, V3 we calculated, and due to the belt tension, H2 dash, H3 dash we calculated. Now finally, what is the purpose of calculating these all things? To calculate the resultant reaction at the bearing 2, resultant reaction at the bearing 3. Okay. Now design the crank pin here. We are designing the crank pin first stage. Now first one is a design of crank pin. Let D see the diameter of the crank pin in mm, and LC is the length of the crank pin in mm. And crank pin generally subject into the bending stress here, that is sigma B in megapascal. Okay. And bending moment at the center of the crank pin from the figure. So from this figure, bending moment at the crank pin, that is H1 into B2. See here, H1 into B2. H1 into B2. And also we know that this is the first equation. Another equation, bending moment at the center of the crank pin is pi by 32, general equation, pi by 32 into dc power cube into sigma b. This equation we got from the bending stress equation. From the bending stress equation, bending moment by section modulus. With this relation, where we can calculate, this is the one. So by equating the equation number 1 equal to equation number 2, if we equate this one, that is h1 into b2 equal pi by 32 into dc power 3 into sigma b. With this, what we can calculate, we can get the value of dc in mm. So after calculating this one, we need a LC value, length of the crank pin. So how much the length of the crank pin here? The length of the crank pin relation uh, FP by DC into FP, bearing pressure. EV. So once if we calculate this value from this relation, and FP value beginning at the beginning we calculated, that is pi by 4 into d square into maximum gas pressure from the beginning we calculated, and the bearing pressure value will be given in the question, substituting the value, and we are getting the LC value in mm. So what we are doing here, we are calculating the designing the crank mean nothing but calculating the physical parameters DC and LC. Another second one is the design of left hand side of the crank web. So see here in this figure, every crankshaft is having the two sides here. One is the left side, one is the right side. So first one we are calculating left hand crank web. So left hand crank web, we are considering this is a web is subjecting to the eccentric loading. Web is subjecting to eccentric loading. Eccentric loading. Okay. And there will be a two stresses acting on the crank web. One is the first one is the direct compressive stress. Direct compressive stress. And second one is a direct bending stress. These two stresses are going to acting on the this crank web. Now thickness of the crank web is T, denoted by T. Its relation, empirical relation, 0.4 ds to 0.6 ds, or 0.22 into d to 0.32 into d, or 0.65 dc to 6. So this is a separate relation, 0.65 dc plus 6.35 mm. So these three relations we have to calculate the thickness of the crank web, where ds is the uh, shaft diameter in mm, and where capital D is the bore diameter in mm, where dc is the crank pin diameter in mm. Okay, and width of the crank web w, width of the crank web w is 1.125 dc plus 112.7 mm, where dc is the diameter of the crank pin in mm. Okay, and bending stress, maximum bending moment by section modulus. So here maximum bending moment, how much from the figure, the first figure, from this figure, maximum bending moment, how much H1 into B2 minus, so only particularly this side I'm calculating, not entire bending moment for the, because title is left hand side of the crank. So left hand side only I'm taking here. So left hand side is acting H1 and B2. What are the parameters here? H1, one is a B2, one is a TC, one is a TC, and it is a thickness T, and it is a thickness T. So these parameters acting. Now bending moment for only the left side have left side of the crank web I'm calculating. Bending moment is H1 into B2 minus TC by 2 minus T by 2. So T by 2, T is the thickness of the web. TC is the, what is the TC here? TC is the, this is the distance here. So the distance from here to here. So TC. And what is the section modulus here? The section modulus is for this particular this section bow, not entire one, only the side, left side of the crank, only one crank I'm taking here. So what is the equation? 1 by 6 into W into T square. Width of the crank web and thickness of the crank web. Okay. Substitute here. And what is the bending stress? H1 into B2 minus TC by 2 minus T by 2 by W into T square here into 6. Okay. This is the bending stress. And now, due to the reciprocating motion of the piston, the crank is subjecting to the tensile and as well as compressive. So maximum compressive stress, how much here? We are considering the maximum compressive stress here. So how much the maximum compressive stress here? H1 by area, W into T. Load by area. First load is the horizontal load acting on the left side of the crank web by area. That is W into T. Okay. And this is the another equation. That is a bending stress. This is a compressive stress. And a total stress acting on the one side of the web. What side we are considering? Left hand side web. So only one side, total stress. Total stress, how much? So total stress, how much? Sigma B plus sigma C. Okay. So I'm writing this combining one here. 6H1 into B2 minus TC by 2 in minus T by 2 by W into T square, W into T square plus the total stress acting on the one side of the crank web is a, what title we are considering here, left hand side crank web. This is the total stress acting. Now if we design for the right side of the crank web, same equations we have to follow, these three equations. But the thing is, the bending stress what we are calculating here, H2 B1 TC TC. Only that this is the difference, H2 B2, H2 B1 TC as usual, T by 2 as usual. And the equation slightly changes here, H2 and here B1 for the right hand side of the crank web. So this is the right hand side of the crank web. So I think no need for this separate calculation. And the fourth point is design of the shaft under flywheel. So what we are going to design here, shaft diameter we are calculating here. So shaft diameter ds in mm. Now we know that bending moment due to the flywheel, due to the flywheel, how much vertical load, vertical reaction into C1 from the figure, from this figure. So from this figure, vertical load. See here, this is the vertically load acting W. Okay. So because of this weight, the two reactions are there. What is the V2 and V3? So because of the flywheel, the vertical reaction V3 into C1, V3 into C1. This is the C1. W3 into C1, and bending moment due to belt tension, that is H3 dash into C1. So here bending moment due to the wheel weight, bending moment due to the belt tension. So two separately I am calculating. These two bending moments act at right angle to each other. So the resultant bending moment, how much? MR equal, due to the wheel weight due to the belt tension, MR equal M wheel square M tension square. M wheel means due to the flywheel, tension means belt tension. So that is I'm writing here V3 into C1 square H3 dash into C1 whole square. This is the resultant bending moment due to the, because here one is the wheel, one is the belt tension. So that is a resultant bending moment I'm calculating. And also we know that this is the first one. The bending moment due to the torsion of the shaft, that is pi by 32 ds power 3 into sigma b. So due to the bending moment, this is another equation. This is the equation number 2. If we equate the equation number 1 equal to equation number 2, then we will get the ds value in mm. So first what we are calculating, bending moment due to the wheel, bending moment due to the tension, belt tension separately we are calculating, and we are extracting the resultant bending moment. And also due to the direct power transmission, the shaft at the flywheel is subjecting to the bending moment. So this is a bending moment from the bending stress equation. We are writing this equation. Okay. So we are equating these two. Finally we are getting the ds value. Now this is the second consideration, when the crank is at an angle of maximum twisting moment. Nothing but the twisting moment on the crankshaft will be maximum when the tangential forces acting on the crankshaft, Ft, here where is Ft here? So see here, Ft should be maximum. So the maximum value of the tangential force lies when the crank angle at an 25 degrees. This crank angle is 25 degrees to 30 degrees. So when the crank angle reaches to this range, so the Ft is going to lies maximum from the dead center for a constant volume of combustion engine. And this is for the petrol engine. Now for the diesel engine, compression ignition engine, when the crank angle lies from the 30 degrees to 40 degrees, this Ft is going to subject into the maximum value. Okay, and now considering the position of the crank at an angle maximum twisting moment. Okay, so if now see here, due to the burning action of the gases here, burning action of the gases, the force is creating on the piston surface. That force is going to transmit it through the connecting rod to the this crankshaft, and we are considering at an angle maximum twisting moment. Okay, so at this time, class, just wait. So due to this gas pressure, the gas force is transmitting to the crankshaft here, and here intensity of the pressure on the piston is for one instant we're considering, that is P dash for one instant. So for one instant, how much gas pressure is acting? Pi by 4 into T square into P dash. For one instant, I'm considering. Okay. And the thrust on the connecting rod is written as FQ. This is the one. Thrust on the connecting rod, FQ. That is FP by cos pi. FP by cos pi, where pi is the angle of inclination. Angle of inclination of the connecting rod. Okay. So see here, this FQ thrust acting on the connecting rod, FQ may be divided into two components. One is a perpendicular to the crankshaft, another one is along the crankshaft. Okay, and this is the one. One is a perpendicular, one is along the crankshaft. Okay, and the component FQ is perpendicular to the crank is tangential FT, and the component FQ along the crank pin is the FR. So where is FR here? Sorry, this is the along the FR, which produces the thrust on the crank bearings. Okay, and now what are those components FT and FR? So FT is FQ from this relation, from this triangle relation, F FT equal from this triangle relation, FT equal FQ into sine theta plus pi, and from this triangular relation, FR equal radial force, FR equal FQ into cos theta plus pi. Okay, this is a tangential force. This is a along the crank pin. Due to the tangential force Ft, there will be two reactions at the bearings 1 and 2. Here one the first bearing, and here the second bearing. This is the third bearing. Okay, and due to the Ft, due to this Ft, there will be a reactions at 1 and 2 bearings. Here 1 and 2 bearings, two reactions are there. So what are those? I'm writing due to this Ft. Due to this Ft, two reactions are there. What are those reactions? HT1 reaction, HT1 reaction, and HT2 reaction. So what is a HT1 reaction? So I'm taking the moment about this Fr, sorry, about Ft, HT1 into B. So here I'm writing HT1 into B equal Ft into B1. So what is HT1 here? HT1 Ft by B, Ft into B1 by B. So that is the one. Ft into B1 by B. And what is H2? Directly we can say that B Ft into B2. Ft into B2 by B. And due to the second force, there will be two reactions at the bearing 1 and 2. What are those? The first one is a HR1, another one is a HR2. So what is the HR1? HR1, see here, HR1 into B equal Fr into B1. Fr into B1 by B, Fr into B2 by B. These two reactions are going to generated. First one is the HT1, HT2. Second one is the HR2, comma HR1, comma HR2. Now one by one we are calculating. And one more, there will be, see another reaction is there. Due to the flywheel, two reactions, vertical reaction V2 and V3. And due to the belt tension, there will be a T1 plus T2. So these are the reactions we are calculating. Now one by one we are calculating. First one, design of crank pin. So here crank pin diameter DC in mm. Okay. Now we know that the bending moment at the center of the crank pin, MC equal, I'm writing crank pin at the center, MC equal HR1 into B2. And twisting moment TC equal HT1 into R. So from this figure I'm writing by not I'm not writing by my own. Maximum bending moment at the center of the crank pin is a HR1. This HR1 into this B2 bending moment about this one, and twisting moment HT1 into the radius. What is the radius here? The radius is R. Okay, so that I'm writing here. And the equivalent twisting moment TE, equivalent twisting moment TE is equal to MC square TC square. Why I'm taking equivalent? Because here two different parameters are there. One is the maximum bending moment, one is the maximum twisting moment. So that reason, if these two are the same manner, means bending moment at second point, bending moment at third point. If it is like that, so I will select the, instead of writing TE resultant, I will going to select. Okay, so because the components are here different, bending moment and twisting. So the reason equivalent twisting moment I'm taking, that is square root of MC square plus TC square. So I'm writing here HR1 into B2 square HT1 into R square. This is the first equation. And we also know that power transmitted by the shaft when it is subjecting torque T equal pi by 16 into sigma s into dc power cube. This is the second equation. So why I'm taking, because the crankshaft is rotating. So when it is subjecting to the subjecting to the crank torsion, because angular twist we are considering. So this equation I'm writing. Now equating the equation 1 to equation 2, I'm writing here pi by 16 into sigma s into dc power 3 equal square root of hr1 v2 square plus ht1 r whole square. So with this, what we'll get, dc is in terms of mm. Now see here, hr1 in the beginning stage we calculated, ht1 at the beginning stage we calculated, r value also given in the question, v2 value will be given in the question. Sigma s is a permissible shear stress for the given material. So which one is the unknown here? This is the unknown one. So that we are calculating, that is the title, design of crank pin. So this design of crank pin based on the, see here, design of crank pin based on the at an angle of maximum twisting moment. At the starting also we calculated one DC value. That DC value is based on maximum bending moment. This is based on maximum twisting moment. So see here, here one design of crank pin we calculated. This crank pin is based on the cranks at a dead center. So dead center is nothing but it is subject into the maximum bending moment. Okay. So this is the one. Now design of shaft under the flywheel. Design of shaft, that is ds, how much? ds is how much? So ds is nothing but diameter of the shaft in mm. Okay. And bending moment on the shaft, bending moment on the shaft due to the weight of the flywheel, that is r3 into c1. Twisting moment on the shaft due to the power transmission, that is ts equal, due to the torque transmitting, the twisting moment is generating ft into r. And the equivalent twisting moment how much? ms square plus ts square. So I'm writing here r3 into c1. So this I am writing based on the diagram, babu, not my own. Okay. Whole square, whole square plus ft into r whole square. This is the first equation. And torque transmitted by the shaft T equal, we also know this one, pi by 16 into sigma s into ds square, ds power 3. This is the second equation. So equating the equation 1 to equation 2. So pi by 16 into sigma s into ds power 3 r3 c1 square ft r square. So work with this, the ds parameter is going to calculate it. See here, sigma s is the permissible limit for the given material. R3 is R3 C value at the beginning of this topic we calculated. At the beginning means this is the title bow. Here we calculated the here V3. R3 means this is the one. Due to the weight of the bearing, the weight of the flywheel H3 dash and V3 is acting. The resultant is the R3. So what is the R3 here? Square root of H1 dash 3, H1 dash, H3 dash, H3 dash square plus V3 square, that is the R3. Okay. So that is R3 and C1. C1 is the distance and Ft is a tangential force. Just now we calculated at the beginning. So this is the Ft and R is the crank radius. So everything is known, only the unknown ds, that is the title here, design of shaft under flywheel. Okay, wait, Babu. I will take the attendance. So the rest of the topics we'll discuss in next class.